All right, so in this module, we're gonna look over an example of sketching directions. All right, so again, this one will be on your quiz. So I recommend pausing the video, trying to sketch this on your own, and then coming back and I'll show you the work. So what we want to do is sketch the crystallographic direction. So again, even if I don't say this, you've got square brackets here that tells you it's a direction, right? So keep that in mind. And I want you to sketch this direction, the 3, 8, 12 direction, within the unit cell. So I'm putting that constraint here. And so see if you can do this, pause the video, come back, and what we'll do is we'll switch over and I'll show you this on the sketch paper so you can kind of see the process of how to do this, just like we did in the previous module. All right, so let's work through this example and see if we get the same thing. So we're trying to sketch the 3, 8, 12 direction. And so, like I said before, I always like to do these little tables to keep track of everything, just to kind of keep track of my work, even if it seems like a simple calculation. But the first thing in that series of procedure steps is that I'm going to extract the indices and put them in terms of A, B, and C, right? So I have 3A, 8B, and 12C. All right. The next thing I need to do is I need to get my indices within the unit cell, right? This is 1A, this is 1B, and this is 1C. So I have to have everything 1 or less. So basically I need to divide. And this is my biggest problem here, the 12. So I need to divide by that, right? So I'm going to divide by 1/12 for all of these. And so that's going to give me 3/12, which should be 1/4 A. We have 8/12, right? And that's going to be what? 4/6, so 2/3 B. And then we have 12/12, so 1. Okay. So those are reduced so that it's within the unit cell. And so now my next step is to make the endpoint, right? So I'm going to follow along the a-axis. So I can also make these little hash marks to try to break everything up so that this is the 1/2, 3/4, 1/4. So I basically need to go there, right? 1/4. And then I need to go 2/3 along the y. So if I kind of break that up into thirds, it looks something like that. And so I'd come across parallel to that axis to around there, because that's the 1/3. This is 1/3. Oh, sorry, I went 1/3, not 2/3. So I need to go over here. So ignore that one. All right, so this is 2/3. So ignore that. This is 1/4, and then the last one is 1C, right? So basically, if I'm here, I'm in the bottom face, and I need if I go one length, it should be in the top face, right? So I'm basically going to go straight up, and I'm going to go straight up parallel to these until I'm in the top surface. So it's going to put me somewhere right around here. And it doesn't have to be perfect as long as you show the work and I can tell what you're doing here, right? It might be easier on a less hand-drawn sketch, but this is what we've got. So this is one up, and so now I'm on this one face that's 2/3 over and then 1/4 forward. So that's my endpoint here. So everything else is just kind of a guide to get to that point. So you don't have to worry about those points. All right, so I've drawn the endpoint. And so the last step is to make the arrow by connecting the beginning to the end point, right? So I just draw a line from that, and then since it's going towards the end point, I make an arrow, right? So that's my direction. That is my 3, 8, 2 direction. And again, without the labels, it's often hard to determine where a direction's going in two-dimensional space when you're talking about 3 dimensions. So make sure you have your labeling as you go along so that we can tell that you have the correct direction.